The following presentation is brought to you by the Realm Network.
The Attitude Era is widely considered by many as the greatest product the WWE has ever had. Now, relive the entire journey with exclusive commentary, insights, and episodic discussion with head writer Vince Russo.
Hello, everybody. This is Vince Russo, and this is Podcast One. Welcome to Raw, What It Was Good For. We're going to be taking a look at the July 13th, 1998 edition of Raw from the Attitude Era, and we're going to compare and contrast that with what we saw last night on the current Raw. Joining me today, as always, is my co-host, Jeff Lane. Jeff, how you doing today, my friend?
Doing good, Vince. Can't wait to get into this Raw. Lots of big things, one of them being based on the timeline Ed Ferrara laid out a few weeks ago on this show. I believe this is the first show you guys co-wrote together. So,
well, Jeff, this is also a historic Raw, What Was It Good For? Because we have a special guest on today's show, and he just happened to get the taste slapped out of his mouth on this episode by Owen Hart. Then he was tossed in the ring like a rag doll. Sharpshooter cinched in, and I'm talking about, and listen, if you're watching on the Realm Network, this is not Robert De Niro from Taxi Driver. This is the great Jason Sensation. Jason, how you doing today, bro?
I'm doing okay. Thank you very much for having me. It's a pleasure. It's an honor, as usual.
Jason, you got the taste slapped out of your mouth, bro, on this edition of Raw.
Literally. I actually couldn't eat for a week after this Raw.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that in its entirety, and we're going to try to do something very special on this show today as well. We got Jason. He's going to talk about that incident with the slapping and the sharpshooter and the whole shebang. But we're also going to try to channel some of the superstars from the Attitude Era through Jason to see what they were going through at that point in time. Now, a lot of times this doesn't work. You know, you never know with the hereafter, whatever they call it. You never know if they're going to show up or not. But Jason, we're going to attempt to try that today, are we not?
Yes, I'm in.
All right, Mr. Jason Sensation, are we ready to look at the episode of Raw from July 19th, 1998?
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely ready.
All right, Jeff, drive the car. Let's go with this.
Great way to start the show. Shawn Michaels returns for the first time in 3 or 4 months, whatever it was, since WrestleMania 14, and he does commentary the entire show. So I really like this, and one thing I see a contrast with today's product is I think you get the most natural crowd reaction when music hits and they don't know it's coming. Today I see a lot of Lillian Garcia will say, "Please welcome Stephanie McMahon," and then the music hits, and I think that lessens the crowd reaction. I think that's something they need to go back to like this, a big surprise. Shawn comes out, no introduction. The announcers even, bowed out the entire time until Shawn got over there. So
yeah, and Jeff, that's a little point, but I think it's a good point. It's more being done organically. Yeah, bro. I listen. This is I haven't watched these shows since I wrote them, so HBK coming out was a big surprise to me. Great entrance. I love the fact that he didn't cut a promo, so we really don't know where Shawn stands with DX. They tried to get an answer out of him through the entire show. He didn't give one either way, so you got a little mystery there, and I like it. But I wonder, listen, this is where Shawn is making a return after losing to Stone Cold Steve Austin at WrestleMania 14. He's been away for a couple of weeks. If Shawn were here with us, I wonder what Sean would say about returning to the WWE.
I'd probably say, you know, I love the pop. Every time that music hits, it just brings the electricity back into the system. But then I come out to the ring, and I sit down there, and you know what? I can't stand Jerry Lawler. You know, I could have sat there for another 3-4 weeks, but Jerry the King Lawler, I mean, God, he's awful. But it was great to be back, and, you know, the DX question, you know, they made fun of me dropping the ball, so I still got heat with Triple H about that.
So okay, all right. So Sean, we'll see where that leads. We'll see where that leads. And thanks, Sean, for joining us. From there, Jeff, we went to Taker in the ring.
Yeah, while he's on the way to the ring, Jim Ross announces it's official now. Austin and Undertaker will be the main event at SummerSlam based on last week's Undertaker becoming the #1 contender. So it's Undertaker versus Vader. Kane, Mankind, Paul Bearer come out ringside beforehand. Taker gets the win with the tombstone. Mankind goes in to hit him with a chair. Kane yanks it away, and he lays out Vader. While Kane was taking the chair away, Taker ran out the ring to get his own chair, so we still don't know if Kane wanted to hit Undertaker or not. And then we get a shot of Edge in the crowd after that.
Yeah, and the beautiful thing about this, Jeff, is, you know, during the course of this match, JR is laying it out beautifully, asking a million questions about last week. Are the brothers in cahoots? That's the big question. And the beauty of this is, you know, JR's talking about this, laying it out, and exactly that's what this match is built around. So now we have the finish of the match. We have the involvement of Kane with the chair. Now there are even more questions as we continue this story. But I got to tell you, with the kind of mood Taker was in, I don't think Vader could have felt good about going into this match.
You know what? I fear no man, and I feel no pain, but I fear the Undertaker, and I felt pain that night. Oh!
All right, listen, Vader's a little, giggly, at this point, and that's okay. But I'm sure Taker took this match much more seriously.
Yeah, they thought The Undertaker couldn't lift up that 400 pounds of Vader, but I lifted him up in the end, and I gave him the tombstone, and at the end of the match, there was only one guy resting in peace, and that was Vader.
Yeah, and he surely was. And, Jeff, we had a big brawl-for-all match up next.
Yeah, I had a quick question about Edge before we get to that. He hasn't wrestled since he broke Jose Estrada's neck. Do you remember if that was designed? Was there any issues after that? Or because he's kind of gone back to now he's just in the crowd and we haven't seen him wrestle.
That's a great point, Jeff. I don't believe there was. I think I would remember if there was. I don't believe there was, though.
Okay, so the Brawl for All first match is Bart Gunn and Bob Holly, and there's an interesting comment that I know you want to elaborate on. Jim Ross says that Jim Cornette has resigned as the manager of these guys who are the new Midnight Express because they entered this competition and he was unhappy with that. Bart Gunn wins on points, Bob Holly punches him after the match, and there's a pull-apart.
Yeah, first of all, Jeff, going into this match, I love the WCW shot at the mailman didn't deliver last night. Which was a definite shot at Karl Malone, was on the WCW pay-per-view the night before, so I like that. I love that cheap shot. Bro, I'm sure, I can't remember this specifically, and I don't know if this was a shoot or not, but for Jim Ross to say this, Cornette had to at least say something to him. I'm sure Cornette did not like, his guys working together in the Brawl for All since they were a heel team. I'm sure he had a huge issue with this, and even if he didn't let the office know, I'm sure that he let JR know. Bro, Bart Gunn was throwing absolute bombs, and you've got to give Bob Holly all the credit in the world for taking this beating, bro. I mean, Bob Holly is a legit tough guy, and to hang in there and take this beating. And Jeff, what was even more questionable to me that I don't remember is I think the end was a shoot. I don't think we would have worked that. I think Bart said something to him, and I think Bob Holly got hot. I don't think we would have worked that. I'd love to find out the answer to that, and maybe one day we will have Bart Gunn on, or even Bob Holly. I've been in contact with both of them, but I can't believe that match would have been a shoot, and then we would have worked that end.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that and about the little shove at the beginning that Bob gave him, if that was, legit or not, because I couldn't tell, honestly.
Hey, let's go to Jason Sensation for a second. Jason, what did you think, honestly, bro, during that time, you were there, what did you think about the Brawl for All during that time, Jason?
Oh, I was honestly excited. I really liked it. I thought it was interesting. Like, the boys were more into it than anybody. The boys would just, crowd around the monitors, and they're like, it was huge. And I think honestly, now looking back, it was before its time. Like, something like this now, everyone would love to watch. Everyone would love to see something like this. But yeah, I was a huge fan of it. I didn't agree with the boos coming out of the audience,
Jason, who was your favorite going in? Who did you think was going to win this thing?
I honestly thought Dan Severn was going to win it all. I thought he would be able to shoot on everyone and take them all down.
And that's real interesting. That's real interesting that you bring that up, because we're going to talk about Severn and Godfather later on, and the strategy of Severn in that match that may have backfired, and we'll talk about that a little on. But let's continue with the flow of the show, Jeff.
Big part of the show right here. We see the highlights last week of the DX parroting the Nation, and then we see the Nation watching it on the monitor, and they're all, PO'd. So we come back from commercial. Jason Sensation is now on commentary, and he's running through his impressions. Jim Ross brings up the Nation on the monitor, and they each cut a promo on the specific member of DX that parodied them. They're upset. The best part for me was how Lawler kept antagonizing, getting Jason, do Owen again. I want to see Owen again. That was I just love that, because that just so fits Lawler's character. Obviously, that leads to Owen getting so PO'd. So Owen comes out, slaps the taste out of Jason's mouth, throws him in the ring, puts on the sharpshooter. Jim Ross is screaming, come on, he's just a fan, he's just a kid. Jason's selling it like $1 million. Nation comes in, it looks almost like they're trying to get Owen to let him go, but then the DX comes in and they clear house. So,
Jeff, something very interesting before we get to that, and me and you spoke about this off air yesterday, bro. I thought it was absolutely phenomenal the way on color Sean was putting everybody over, bro, and a lot of times the boys won't do that. But Sean was putting everybody over, with the exception of when Brett's name got brought up here. Sean said, who is that, some mid-carder? I don't know if Sean would have said that if Brett was there, in the building, because it would have started World War III all over again. But I love, Sean is putting everybody over, DX, The Rock, Austin, everybody over, which I thought was great, but he had to get that one jab in, at Brett. But Jason here is so freaking over. Jason, would you rehash some of those Owen lines on color? Because my favorite one was about the nose being here a half an hour ago. Can you recite can you rechannel Mr. Owen Hart and deliver some of those world famous lines?
I know I'm late, but my nose got here 10 minutes ago. Woo! I wake up in the morning and I love the smell of coffee all the way in Brazil. Woo! What's really nice is Jerry Lawler actually gave me a list of nose jokes before I went out. Yeah, really nice. I was going to mention also about that Brett thing. The week before on Nitro, I think Brett had lost to Booker T on Nitro. So that's where Sean was giving that, he was just we're ribbing him for losing to Booker T.
Who was that? Some mid-carder?
Because he lost to Booker T.
Bro, that's a damn good. The Sean voice is like a tough one, because bro, you could do an obvious choice, but Jason, when he does Sean, he goes into Sean's a lot of different octaves. That's a tough voice, Jason. I mean, that's a really great job. Jason, I got to ask you this. So here comes Owen. Bro, it looked like he really slapped the taste out of your mouth. First of all, Jason, walk me through you and Owen going over this in the back. Did he give you a lot of detail? Did he tell you exactly what he's going to do? Did he kayfabe you? What did you know going into this?
It was funny. It's really funny, Owen. Just hilarious. But he came to me with a blood capsule, and he said, "You bite this when I hit you." They don't want it. They don't want the blood, but don't tell them that I gave it to you. We're going to pretend it's real blood. And then he said, "I'm not going to really slap you. I'm going to hit you to the side." And I was like, "Owen, let's make it look good." You know, I was so green. Let's make it look good. Like, just slap me. If you're going to slap me, slap me. And he gave me this look. And I think he taught me a little bit of a lesson then about telling guys to, you know, go ahead and let me have it, because he let me have it. But another funny thing about going over it, he was like, "So I'm going to throw you in the ring. You roll in there, try to get as close to the center as you can. And then when I get in there, I'm going to give you the sharpshooter. Have you ever had a sharpshooter before?" And I said, "I don't." "Well, come on, you played with your friends when you were a kid, didn't you?" I said, "Oh, yeah. So he said, "Okay, so you know how to take a sharpshooter?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Well, just in case, let's work it right now. We're in the back. We're in the middle of the hallway, and people are walking back and forth." He's like, "Lay down." I'm like, "Right here?" And he said, "Yeah, just lay down." So I laid down. He's like, "Put your legs up." I put my legs up, and he walked away. Such a funny guy.
That's a great story. But, you know, the interesting thing, like, see, Jeff, that blood capsule, Owen went into business for himself. We would not know about that. Now, Jason, weren't you afraid you might get some heat from the office if Owen was going into business for himself?
That's where, I was so impressionable then that I was, everybody was my boss, and that's where I was really green, is like, anyone would tell me anything and I would go with it, because I felt like I'm the new guy and I got to listen to everybody. So, I listened to Owen because, he had seniority over me type thing. So
now when he comes out there, Jason, I mean, how was the slap?
Oh my gosh, it rattled my brain. Like I was seeing stars. It almost knocked me out. And I remember the shock of it, and I was just laying on the ground. Like, it really took me out of the seat. And I'll never forget, after, he kept apologizing. He was really I don't think he meant to hit me that hard, even if he was trying to teach me a lesson of, I wondered after, because I said, "Go ahead and hit me. Yeah, please hit me. Make it look good." I wondered if he was teaching me a lesson, but he felt so bad. And, after it all, like, he kept coming up and apologizing, and he felt so sorry, because I had ice on my face. I couldn't even eat. I couldn't move my jaw. Actually, Mick Foley was giving me shakes the next couple of days because I couldn't eat,
Wow, really? So how was the sharpshooter?
That was interesting. I mean, he threw me in the ring there. I think he put me in the sharpshooter, and just for the first few seconds, he cinched it in. I mean, it was for a second or a half a second, but he cinched it in. I think you could see the look in my eye where my eyes changed. Like, oh my, because it felt like I was breaking in half, like just for that second. But I think he was instilling the fear, like, if you don't sell this, that this is what it's gonna feel like. So,
bro, that happened to me. That happened to me, Jason, with Flair's freaking chops, bro. Like, I used to hate when he used to freaking chop me. And, bro, if you go back, it's like after the second one, you'll see a look on my face like, "What are you effing kidding me?" Like, I used to hate it, bro. So, like, I know the feeling, bro, when it gets cinched in that first time, and you're like, "Wait a minute, bro, this is a work," right?
Yeah, totally. It was just too much.
Jeff, you also want to hear another great story, bro, and I swear this is a true story, bro. I'm not even kidding you. Like Jason, bro, I never knew the slap had that impact where you're sucking down shakes for the next couple of days. But, Jeff, you ever get hit in the jaw, like, really hard, where, like, it doesn't officially become, dislocated, but, like, it's out of joint?
Like you can hear cracking when you're
Yes.
when you're moving. Yes.
Bro, do you know who slapped me so hard that's what happened to me? Take a
Steiner?
while. I'll give you this. It was WCW. Take a
I
while.
guess Steiner.
Jason, who would you guess at WCW?
Goldberg.
No, bro, this is an absolute true story, and literally my jaw was out of whack because she slapped me that hard. Freaking Miss Elizabeth, bro.
No way.
She didn't, bro. Miss Elizabeth did not like me because I was forcing her to get physically involved, and she didn't want to. She just wanted to be the cheesecake. And there was one scene where I had to pick her up and carry her in the back, and I did that. And while I had her, she freaking cracked me, bro. I went in the back, and it was, it was that gimmick. I was never hit so hard in my freaking life. Hey, Jason, can you give us a little bit about give us the apology? How was Owen apologizing?
Oh, he was just going over it like. It's funny.
No,
I don't know.
Jason, here's where you're supposed to insert Owen apologizing to you, Jason.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Go ahead, Jason. Sometimes you forget. I got to remind you.
Oh my gosh, I didn't mean to hit you there. Oh my gosh, is it bad?
Yeah, it's bad.
No, I didn't mean it. Like, did I hit you hard? Like, guys are giving me for this. Like, was it hard?
Hey, Jason,
Yeah.
were you thinking now for a second? Were you thinking of working Owen and making him believe he really effed you up?
No, actually, you know what? I don't know if you remember this, but we played a rib. You and I and China played a rib on Owen before the match because he had come. He was ribbing me. As soon as I came out in the caution tape in the dressing room, everyone was pissing themselves laughing at just the costume. And it was getting under Owen's skin, it seemed. So I walked over to him, and I was actually scared, and he's with Mark Henry. And I think, if you remember at the time, it was a taped show, and the Nation came out and attacked DX, and they cut that out of the show. And they didn't put that in. They made it like, oh, it won't. You guys said it wouldn't make sense, so you actually cut out that the Nation came out and ended the parody. But
wow, that's a great point, Jason. I forgot all about that, bro.
yeah.
Yeah.
So when Owen was coming out, he said, when I went up to Owen, and he's sitting beside Mark Henry, and Mark Henry's just pissing himself laughing, and everyone was laughing at the costume, and Owen's looking at me like,
You think this is funny?
and I was like, no, I was actually scared like a tail between my legs. Like, I don't want to offend you, Owen.
He's like, I just want you to know, when we come out there, you better get out of the ring because I'm coming for you. I'm going to break your face. I mean, I'm going to knock that nose right off of your face.
And he actually scared me. So I went up to China, and I was like, China, like, Owen's really mad. And she's like, he's not mad. He's ribbing you. And I said, no, he's pissed. So she's like, let's play a rib on him. So she went to you and got me to go sit in the bathroom stall and pretend like I wasn't doing this anymore because I respected Owen too much. And I'll never forget, I sat in that bathroom stall for 15 minutes, and then finally you come in with Owen, and Owen was like, I swear I was just messing with him, and you were giving it to Owen like, how could you do this? How could you do this to Jason? He's a fan of yours. You're going to ruin the whole segment. And Owen was like, Jason, banging on the stall, come out. And you were banging on the stall, come out, Jason, come out. And Owen was so apologetic for even scaring me while I'm trying to hold my laugh in the back. And then Hunter comes in, and it was a rib between the three of you now. It was in the men's washroom, the three of you, while I'm hiding in this stall. Hunter's giving Owen shit. You couldn't let him go, eh? You just had to make this kid, you had to ruin it. This kid gets one chance, you gotta ruin it. And you were like, you were all over Owen, like, I can't believe this, Owen. This is so unprofessional of you. And Owen was really taking it bad. And then
Jeff,
I finally come out of the stall, and he's looking at me, and he's like, I'm really sorry. I want you to, just go out there and do the best you can. Just go do it, Jason, and don't listen to these guys. I was just messing with you. Go out there and do it. And then I was looking at you guys, trying to hold my laugh, and Owen looked at me, and he's like, I hope I'm not being ribbed right now.
Jeff, you see how I have to bring these guys on because I don't remember. Like I'm 55. My brain is fried. Jason, bro, walk me through. How did the caution tape become a part of it?
This was honestly, I think it was one of you guys wrote it in because he had the danger on his outfit and all they had was a black singlet, and I thought it was you who wrote it in. Just wrap them up in caution tape. Because that'll look like danger.
That is classic stuff. All right, Jeff, go on.
Coming back from commercial, we see footage of DX helping Jason to the back, and then we have a tag match, Owen and The Rock versus Triple H and X-Pac, in which we learn from JR that Rock and Triple H will be wrestling a 2 out of 3 falls match at the upcoming Fully Loaded title for title match. DX gets the win here. X-Pac pins The Rock.
How did The Rock? I wonder how The Rock felt about that loss. I wonder how The Rock felt about that loss.
You know what, Jabroni X-Pac? I can't believe that you got a pinfall over me, the 1, 2, 3 Jabroni Kid. The only reason you did is because China came in the ring with a belt and leveled the Great One right in the face, or I would have laid to smack it down on your skinny Rudy Poo candy ass, Jabroni.
All right, now, Jeff, Sable joins us at ringside, and bro, this had to be rehearsed. I give King all the credit in the world, but the exchange here between King, JR, and HBK went something like this. King says to Sable, when Sable's walking out, King says, "The last time I saw Sable, I was having a dream." And JR says, "How did that dream end?" And Sean chimes in prematurely. Bro, there's no way those three guys did not write those 3 lines in sync. I thought that was absolutely classic.
Well, we had Sable on commentary, as you mentioned, for this match. We're playing, the whole story is the upcoming bikini contest with her and Jackie that's going to take place in Fully Loaded. The match is Mark Merrow versus Steve Blackman, a rematch from their Brawl for All. Blackman gets the win because Sable foils Jackie's interference plans.
Bro, and I love the fact that Sable is just there to tease what she's going to be wearing at Fully Loaded, bro, which is incredible. Bro, I cannot believe, let's be honest here, bro. People are buying this pay-per-view to see what Sable's wearing. There's no question about it.
Yeah, and this I don't want to spoil it for anybody if they're watching it for the first time, but they definitely got their money's worth at that pay-per-view.
And I love when Lawler says to her, he goes, "Can I have your autograph? And would you mind putting your phone number underneath it?" Bro, just classic stuff. Then you talked about Merrow and Blackman, Blackman Oval, Sable dumps Jackie. And they're working an angle for a bikini contest. Bro, you'll never see that again. I think I'm safe saying you will never see 2 females work an angle again for a bikini contest. Jason, do you remember Sable's bikini, the one that we're talking about?
Yeah, definitely I remember. I'll never forget that night. And I always wondered about Jacqueline, that nip slip. Do you know, was that a shoot, or did she mean to do that, or was that planned?
What was that again? Refresh my memory.
Right when they were having that bikini contest, Jacqueline, she grabbed a hold of her swimsuit and her nipple popped out. And
I remember that.
Yeah, and I always wondered if that was a plan or if she did that accidentally.
That's a great question, bro. Knowing Jackie, the old crafty veteran, that might have been a plan, bro.
I wonder if that's cut out of. I wonder if that's cut out of the network version too. We'll have to look for that when we get to that show.
Yeah. All right. So what's up next, Jeff?
New Age Outlaws defending their tag belts against the #1 contenders, Kane and Mankind. Undertaker comes out before the match starts. Owen and The Rock come out during the match, and then Triple H and X-Pac come out, and there's a brawl between those 4. While that's going on, the referee's distracted. D'Lo Brown sneaks in from the crowd. He's got his chest protector on. hits the frog splash on Road Dogg. Kane hits the tombstone for the win. We got new tag team champions, Kane and Mankind.
I wonder how Mankind felt about winning the tag team titles that night.
I was still kind of hurting from my match at the King of the Ring, but winning the tag team titles with Kane was definitely a monumental moment for me on Monday Night Raw. Bang, bang!
Now, I would have to think that the late, great Paul Bearer was extremely proud of Kane winning the tag team titles that night.
Oh, you know I was. I was a proud uncle. I was a proud uncle of Kane, and I was a proud father. I was a proud uncle of Mankind, and I was a proud father of Kane. Oh, yes!
All right, so from there, Jeff, let's go quickly through. Now DX is in the back. They're stating a case against Vince McMahon. They're not happy. Let's go quickly through Too Much and Taka Michinoku against Kai and Tai. The highlight basically was Val Venus coming to the stage, and it looks like Val Venus made a new video.
Yeah, this match was designed to continue that angle with Val and Kai and Tai, and we see the new video. As I was extremely jealous of Val getting to shoot this with the beautiful Mrs. Yamaguchi-san. She pops up from under the blankets.
But wait a minute, Jeff.
Course,
what about the title of the video?
I don't remember the
The
title.
Land of the Rising Venus, which I thought was a very nice touch. Go ahead, Jeff, because you got to give me the agent line here, which went right over my head yesterday until you pointed it out. Jason, listen to this Shawn Michaels line. Go ahead, Jeff.
Yeah, I wasn't going to bring it up, but since you did, while we're seeing Val, he's speaking to the camera. Something's going on under the sheets. She hasn't been revealed yet, and they're blurring this out. And Shawn Michaels says, "Why are they blurring the agents?"
And Jason, I did not realize this. Listen, everybody, and Jeff, it's okay that you talk about it. At the time, Pat Patterson is a gay man. He has since come out of the closet on the Legends House, and everybody knows he's gay. But back then, it was a big secret. So for Shawn Michaels to say, why are they blurring out the agents? He's referring to the great Pat Patterson going down on Val Venus, which literally went right over my head until the younger and sharper Jeff Lane had to explain it to me last night. What do you think about that, Jason?
Just hilarious. I love how Sean was throwing those out there. But, good times. Funny joke, anyway.
For those that may have heard and not seen it, this is obviously leading up to the Choppy PP2, so I can't wait till we get to that. That can't be far at this point.
No, it can't be.
So next, Vince McMahon comes to the ring, introduces The Undertaker, and flat out asks him if he's in cahoots with Kane.
Before we get to that, though, let's also point out, bro, that Sean had another gem here, Jeff, when he referred to Vince McMahon as the biggest member in the WWE.
Yes.
Yes. Bro, I got to tell you something. Freaking Sean got away with murder. He got away, and bro, he still gets away to murder to this day. When you heard him on my interview a couple of weeks ago, it's like, bro, they're so careful about inviting him there because they never know what he'll do or say, and every time it's over, he's always in trouble for something. So today on this show, bro, whether it's, why are they blurring the agents or Vince is the biggest member in the WWE, bro, he just can't help himself. That's what made him so great. Right, Jason?
Yeah, I agree. Just hilarious. Sean was he loved to joke and he loved to laugh. I remember him coming up to me after this parody backstage. The parody was the week before, and he was just like, I came up with that nugget thing, and I started laughing, and he's like, but you know what? Me and my wife were on the floor just laughing. This is what we need more of. I think Sean's a huge fan of comedy, and he really liked the funny stuff.
He did come up with the nugget thing. I remember the nugget swirling round and round and round. He definitely came up with that. Okay, so now Taker comes out, right, Jeff?
Yeah, and Vince just wants to know flat out, are you in cahoots with Kane? Taker tells him to go to hell. At this point, Austin interrupts. He wants to know the answer because he wants to know if Fully Loaded. Is it going to be those two against 2 people, or is it going to be Austin versus 3 people? Taker tells him to go to hell as well. Now DX interferes because they're still hot about the Outlaws losing the tag belts, and Triple H wants them to get a rematch tonight, and he puts it to Vince saying, there's a way to do this for you to find out if Taker's in cahoots with Mankind. Let's have 3 referees, a regular official, and 2 ringside enforcers, Austin and The Undertaker. Vince McMahon agrees to all this, so we have a rematch set up for tonight.
Man, I wonder how Austin felt about this, because he couldn't have been happy.
No, I don't like being forced into some position where I got to be a referee or a special enforcer. I was supposed to have the night off, son. That's why when I had to come down later, I brought my cooler, I brought my Stone Cold Steve Weisers, and I had a few, son. And that's why I almost whooped Vince McMahon's ass right in the middle of that.
I wonder how Owen felt about this match.
I loved coming down. I was the reason that they lost the belts. Me and The Rock came down, and we were the reasons that those New Age Outlaws, those jabronis, that disrespectful Billy Gunn lost those belts, and we were the reason, and they should not have done a rematch. They lost the belts, and they shouldn't have done any kind of rematch.
Yeah, but I'm sure, Owen, that Billy and Road Dogg would have felt differently.
Oh, I didn't know! I didn't know! Yeah, and all I know is I got 2 words for you! Suck it!
All right, well, that makes sense. All right, so now, Jeff, from there we go to the second Brawl for All match, which was Godfather and Severn. And, bro, I had to tell you, Godfather played this brilliantly, bro, because he knew Severn was going to shoot in on the legs every time, but the height of the Godfather enabled them to kick those legs back, and Severn could not take him down. Bro, either Godfather knew this on his own or somebody smartened him up. But I loved watching this because Godfather knew exactly what he was going to do, and he really took advantage of his height here.
Yeah, and it looked like his strategy was he knew there was no way he was going to knock out Severn, so he was going to try to win on points by hitting the most punches, and it almost worked.
Yeah, and I love the way, bro, that, you've got Dan Severn and the Godfather slugging it out, but yet the fans are chanting, "We want fake wrestling." Like to me, Jason, can you imagine? Can you imagine a Dan Severn and a Godfather like legitimately fighting, and the imbeciles, we want fake wrestling? Jay, unbelievable to me.
I know, I agree. It was like I said, it was before its time. Now I bet you they'd be popping like crazy for it, with UFC so popular, but it's too bad. Yeah, I wondered a question about that match. I remember that Godfather ended up going on in the tournament. Do you remember why? If Dan Severn won that match, why did Godfather go on in the tournament?
There was a reason why Dan Severn did not continue. Either he was hurt or something, but there was a reason why he didn't continue.
Yeah, maybe it was that Owen angle started where he where he was going to, I don't know, where he ended his career with the pile driver. Maybe that had started.
Yeah. So, Jeff, we have the main event next, right?
Yeah, we have the rematch, and Austin and Taker are ringside as the enforcers, Outlaws versus Kane and Mankind. The ref gets plastered in the corner twice. Road Dogg hits a low blow on Kane, goes for the pin, so Austin slides in to do the count with the referee knocked out. Undertaker pulls Austin out before he can make the 3 count. They start arguing. Kane quickly recovers. He goes for a pin. Reverse the situation. Taker goes to count. Austin breaks him up. They start getting into it. Kane goes after Austin. Taker and Mankind get into it. Nation and DX run out. The entire match is erupted into chaos, and we go off the air with this giant brawl.
Yeah. I was talking about this last night, Jeff, when I did the wrap-up show. Like, the magnitude of the main events. Bro, you see the magnitude of this main event and who's in this main event, and the whole show kind of like built to this main event. All the stories all the stories crisscrossed at the end, and everything crescendoed to the main event. Back during the Attitude Era, you're writing the show and writing the show and writing the show, and the main event presents itself from the writing of the show. That's the difference between, bro, having writers and having bookers. Jason, can you share, because I love that. I love that story you just told. Do you have any more Owen stories or any moments with Owen that specifically stand out in your mind?
Oh, one of my favorite memories with Owen is I hadn't been on for a bit. You know, I had that green card issue, so it had been a few months now that I finally got the green card, but now I was written out of the story. I had to be written out of the story. But I was trying to just get sight back into sight. So anyway, I took a bus to Connecticut. I show up, and I'm walking towards the building. So yeah, Owen shows up, and he picks me up, and he's like, "Really? You're here for the gimmick?" And I'm like, "What? No, I just took a bus here." He said, "This must be destiny. Get in the car." So I get in the car, and he drives me around the block. I don't know if you remember him. He said that he was trying to plug this storyline to you, but he's like, "I came up with this idea that you are going to be my manager. You're going to be a face, but I'm going to be a heel, like a bully heel manager, and a bully heel to my manager. I'm going to get you to imitate all the guys all the time, and you're going to be, you know, so afraid of me that you're going to have to do these impressions, and I'm going to treat you bad all the time, and this is the angle I'm coming up with." And like, I remember at the time, you know, you had said, "Well, Owen, you got Jeff, you got Deborah, you got Coco Beware now. Like, you're going to have your own onslaught of freaking New World Order here for Owen." So I think that's why you didn't go with the storyline, because you were caught up with the Jeff one. It was, you know, the Jeff one was pretty much written, but and he was doing so many other things. But that's what Owen had, this idea for me to be his manager. I really loved the idea. I wished, you know, going back, I think Owen thought that I would have been happier with DX. You wrote me into the parody of the corporation. And I came back from that parody doing Shawn Michaels, and Owen seemed a little let down. He's like, "I guess you're happier with DX, you know?" And I was like, "No, I would have played the angle with you if that's what they went with." So I wondered if Owen thought that I didn't want to play the angle with him, but that was a real amazing moment for me, walking up to the building, him showing up and saying, "This is destiny." You know, that's
it must be an honor, Jason, for you to, you know, the one guy that you were tied in more closely to than anybody else, you know, was, you know, without a doubt, Owen. That must be a real honor for you, still to this day, I would think.
No,
I think we lost him for a second, Jeff. We'll see if Jason comes back and answers that question, but.
Okay, let me do the ratings real quick for that night. July 13th, 98. Raw won the night 4-7 to 4-5. Nitro's first hour unopposed was a 4-7. The first head-to-head hour, Raw won 4-4 to 4-0. And the last hour, Raw won 4-9 to 4-7. Very close.
Okay, yeah, Jason's back. Jason, you know, just tell us, what is it like to be, to this day, bro, tied to such a legend and such a man and father, husband, friend? I can go on and on like Owen Hart.
Yeah, you said it all right there. He's the most wonderful man I ever met in my life, I've ever known. Like, he was such a wonderful, loving person and so good to everybody. I feel honored to be touched by his life like so many other people were touched by his life. And the funny thing is, like, he's the one who first recognized me. He's the one who first found my talents, and I was doing impressions for him and Davey Boy at a meet and greet, and he brought me in the dressing room. He kind of opened up the door for me to meet everyone and to get the opportunity to meet you and to meet Mr. McMahon. And, you know, it's funny that I look at him like an angel of my life. Like, he came in, he brought me in, he helped me realize my dream. Then when I was in there, it was his impression that everybody loved so much that basically got me the job. And that everybody wanted to show, like, that was your favorite impression, was my impression of Owen. So it's almost like I see this angel coming in, bringing me in, helping me realize my dream, and then flying off. And it's so sad that we lost him. It's like the saddest thing in wrestling still, forever. But I'm always going to be honored and grateful that I had the opportunity to show my impression of him. And if there was one guy I could go back and choose to impersonate, of course it would be Owen Hart. So.
And not only that, I have to say this too, Jason. I mean, just the fact that you keep the memory living on. I mean, you coming on this show today and just keeping the memory of Owen alive and talking about those stories that, very few of us were lucky enough to be privy to. That in itself is a gift, bro, because Owen is one of those guys, bro, that you never want to forget, and you can't get enough Owen stories. And bringing you on here and reliving those stories, especially in his voice, that's a great gift to us all, bro. It really, really, truly is.
Thank you. Yeah, I agree. Thank you very much. Yeah, I appreciate the opportunity. You're doing it too. You're the one who called me, and thank you for that. And I have a chance to say it to you as much as I would love to, but thank you. Like, I don't know if you weren't there writing, I don't think I would have got the opportunity I got. And I'll always be grateful to you for giving me that opportunity and writing me into the storyline. I remember Vince looking at me like, and you saying, no, this kid is good. We got to keep him. Like, I remember how much it was because of you that I got the opportunity. So thank you very much, Vince. You keep the memory of Owen alive too. So thank you.
Well, Jason, it was all you. I mean, you were such a unique talent, and obviously you were a unique talent, bro, because that's not been repeated since. A guy that just walks on the scene and literally can do the entire locker room was so freaking entertaining and so handy to have, and you played such an integral part in the Attitude Era, bro. And let's face it, even that parody, because we didn't expect that. You know what I'm saying? We didn't expect that. Like, all the DX guys talked first. Triple X did his Hunter. Hunter did his Rock. Shawn did his Mark Henry. Everybody went first. Then all of a sudden there was this guy we never saw before, dressed like Owen Hart. And bro, the minute you opened your mouth, that was a holy crap moment. One of the true unforgettable moments of Monday Night Raw.
Oh, thank you very much. That means a lot to me. Thanks, Vince.
Hey, Jason, how can we follow you now? Let everybody know out there how they could follow you. Do you have a Twitter? Do you have a Facebook? How can they keep in touch with you?
Oh yeah, I'm on Twitter at JasonSensationX. Thanks a lot for that as well. So at JasonSensationX, and I just opened up an Instagram account, Real Jason Sensation.
Well, there you have it, everybody. Follow the great Jason Sensation. And Jason, bro, I've told you this. You were on our old show. This is your first time here on Podcast One. Bro, you are welcome at any time. You know that.
Oh, thank you very much for that. It's funny, you had asked me to learn some of the newer impressions, and I was working on some of them, but my little brother, Johnny Bloodclot, at Johnny Bloodclot, who does impressions as well, he seems to have more of the newer guys down pat, so maybe if him and I can have a impersonation challenge.
That'd be tremendous. Bro, we can't have people doing impersonations better than you, even if it is your brother.
Thanks.
Well, there you have it, everybody. Another edition of Raw. What was it good for?